and welcome to this short yoga for the hands class. This class is really great if you spend a lot of time on a keyboard or anything like that, so we're just really going to stretch out those fingers. So we'll start in a seated position. You can take any seated position, you can sit on a chair if you like. And we'll just start with bringing the hands onto the knees, maybe closing the eyes, softening the gaze. And we'll just take 3 deep breaths in, breathing into the belly. And breathing out the nose, feel the belly soften. 2 more times, inhale. Exhale. And again, inhale. Exhale. Now let your breath return back to its natural rhythm. And if you've got your eyes closed, you can just gently blink them open now. So we will start by bringing the hands out in front of us. Just start to push into that imaginary wall. And as you're here, you want to make sure you draw the shoulder blades together. So you're not rounding forward, or you're really sitting up straight with a nice straight back. Really engaging those rhomboids. Might start to feel a stretch through the forearms. And see if you can create lots of space between the fingers. It's really stretching the fingers out. And hold it there for 1 more round of breath. And then release, shake it out. And we'll do that again. So pushing into that invisible wall, pulling those shoulder blades together. And this time we'll start to rotate the left hand so the fingers are pointing down, and with the right hand we'll just gently start to pull back each finger one at a time, creating space in between the joints, and then just massaging the finger. You should get a little bit of a stretch in the hand and then through the finger as well. And then taking it to the thumb. And then when you've done that, release, shake it out. So we'll do the other side, pushing into that invisible wall, pull those shoulder blades together, and then gently start to rotate the right hand so it's pointing down, and gently pulling back each finger one at a time, creating lots of space. And not forgetting the thumb. And when you've done that, release. Shake it out. So this time we'll bring the hands in front of us, but with the fingertips facing down. Again, you want to pull those shoulder blades together, but this time we'll take the thumb of the right hand and just place it in the middle of the palm of the left hand and just gently start to pull back here. You can massage the palm of the hand slightly. So you should get a stretch over the wrist and also through the back of the hand. Keeping the fingers together this time. And then release, shake it out. And we'll do the same on the other side, hands out in front, pull those shoulder blades together, left thumb to the middle of the right palm. Remember to keep breathing here. And then when you're ready, release, shake it out. Now we'll just do a little bit to create some strength in the fingers now as well. But we'll start by preparing the shoulders, by just drawing the shoulders up towards the ears and rolling them down the back. We'll just do that a couple of times. And then when you're ready, we'll draw the hands up overhead, and we'll just start to really draw the fingers out, creating lots of space, and then crunch the hands in together. So we'll just move through these 2 movements, and you can make them as fast or as slow as you like. We will be holding this or doing this for about a minute, so you might start to feel it in the forearms, in the fingers, maybe in the shoulders. If you do feel any pain, then you can bring the hands down in front. Keeping them up is just a bit more challenging. You feel a bit more heat, creating a lot of strength in the fingers, getting them moving. Not too much longer now. Maybe getting a little bit quicker. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release, shake it out. You might like to give yourself a couple of just wrist massages here. There's a band of fascia around here, so you can just take your right hand around the left wrist and just gently massage that. And then doing the same to the opposite side. Great. And then we'll just take a few wrist circles in one direction, moving the fingers at the same time, and then the opposite direction. And then finally just moving the hands up and down, so we're just getting a bit of lubrication in the joints. You might hear a few cracks and pops, that's perfectly fine. Great. So from here we will be moving into an all fours position. So if you are sat in a chair, you might just like to come down to the floor. You can do this at a wall as well if you prefer to do it standing. You just want to create a little bit of strength in the hands and the wrists, so you can work here if you prefer. And what we want to concentrate on is pushing into the whole hand. So we want our shoulders stacked over our wrists and then start to push into the index and the middle finger into the floor, so you can feel the knuckles really pushing down. You just want to notice if the weight is coming into the heel of the hand. So maybe noticing where the weight is distributed in the hand. And then we'll just start to rock back and forwards gently on the hands, continuing to notice where that weight is. So if you're on a wall, you can just drop the forearms down a little bit. So you're still getting a bit of movement and feeling the distribution of the weight in the hand. And then we can just rock side to side. Again, noticing the weight in the hand. And maybe even little circles in one direction. And then the other direction. So at this point, if you feel like you do want to come off the hands a little bit, you can come back and maybe just come onto the fingertips. Again, doing the same at the wall if you like, just stretching out over the hands, over the fingers, maybe dropping the head down. So if you're at a wall, you might be here, stretching through the fingers, stretching through the hands. And then just coming back up. So now we're just going to stretch out each finger as well while we're here with a little bit of pressure, using the floor or the wall to help us. So one by one, we'll just gently push down each finger. We don't often get to stretch each finger out at a time. And again, you might hear a few cracks and pops, that's perfectly fine. And then once you've done that, just placing all fingers down again and gently rocking back and forth like we were before. Again, noticing where the weight is, noticing whether the whole palm of the hand is pushing down. And we really want to create a lot of space in between the fingers when we're pushing onto the floor as well. So maybe if your hands are quite close together, your fingers are quite close together, just seeing if you can stretch them out a little bit more. You can come up onto the fingers, lifting the palms and then placing them back down. And this really helps to build strength in the hands, as well as stretching out the fingers. When we're at a computer or keyboard, we tend to be in this kind of movement, so we're working in the opposite direction. So for some people this can be quite challenging. You might not even lift the palms off the floor, and that's perfectly fine. Right. And then if you did want to start practicing building a bit more strength in the hands and the wrists, then from here you can always tuck the back toes, lift the heels off the ground, holding it here. Or if you like, you can come into a downwards dog, lifting the legs, lifting the tailbone up, and just working here, maybe rolling forward into a plank and back, just noticing the weight on the hands. And you can do this at a wall as well, so using the wall to support you, walking the feet back, dropping the head down, so this is supported downwards dog, and you can come forward into a plank. Again, still noticing where the weight is on the hands, and that you're pushing into the whole hand. And eventually over time you will build strength in the hands and you'll be able to move into the downwards dog option. So wherever you are, just making your way back down to the floor, and we'll make our way into a seated position. Maybe just finally giving ourselves a couple of rolls of the wrists and stretching out the fingers. And switching directions. And then placing the hands on the knees. We'll end the practice the same way we started, so maybe softening the gaze, maybe closing the eyes. Taking 3 deep breaths into the belly, so breathing in through the nose, feel the belly expand. And exhale, sigh it out. 2 more times, inhale. Exhale. Last time, inhale. Exhale. And just take a moment here to let the breath return to its natural breath. And then when you're ready, just opening the eyes if you've got them closed. Thank you for joining me for this very short yoga class for the hands. I hope you feel like your hands are stretched out a bit more and you start to build a little bit of strength in them too. Thank you for practicing with me.